Hello everyone, it's me, Nature, and I'm recording this at 3 in the morning, so if I stutter or anything, please forgive me. But Tyrannotitan has released in Path of Titans. It's been a few hours since its release. All the drama has mostly subsided. So I'm going to give my thoughts on Tyrannotitan, the drama that happened around it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I just kind of want to talk about the situation because I feel like it's something I should talk about, given it's a game that I really like to play. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna talk about this now instead of rambling on like a crazy person that's tired as hell. Visually, Tyrannotitan looks great. It's beautiful. The detailing on the model is gorgeous. The skins are very nice. I honestly gotta say, it's probably the best looking vanilla Apex by far. Not like that's quite a high bar right now because Rex exists, but it is really pretty. I also love Tyrannotitan's calls, the sound. The sound design doesn't feel really overbearing, but it sounds like what I'd imagine a Carcharodontosaurid to sound like, which yeah, kind of an overused trope with like some of the vocals and the way they're handled, but I like it. It's pretty cool. Animation wise, I'm overall okay with it. I think some animations end too abruptly, but they're expressive, but they're not super crazy. I do think their animator needs to not add as much wiggling when it comes to the larger theropods, because it does kind of look a lot more strange on a large predator versus, say, Ceratosaurus that's more medium sized. But that's just my 2 cents on it visually. Great model, great skins, great sound design. Animations are pretty decent. I like it. Admittedly, I haven't been able to really properly fight with Tyrannotitan or get like proper 1v1s because it's everywhere right now. So I cannot personally comment on its balance until I get to play the thing myself. But from what I'm hearing from friends that are better players than I, it is a little overtuned, so I do think Tyrannotitan is due for some nerfs. Now, I'm not saying they have to nerf the thing into the ground and over nerf it, but it definitely needs to be brought in line more with some of the other roster members. I don't think it's unfixable. I do think that it's something that can easily be done to make it more tolerable, but other than that, I'm a really big fan of Tyrannotitan so far. The first few hours of Tyrannotitan's release, I'd say, were pretty rough. It's definitely the most up in arms I've ever seen the community. Granted, I haven't really played that long. I've played for going on like 2 years. I got the game back in 2023. I've been, relatively enjoying it since then. But it's definitely the most angry I've seen the players. And from what I saw in like Discord chats and stuff, they were some people, not everyone, just the minority here, were sending death threats because Tyrannotitan initially released as a paid playable. And my take on paid playables is I'm not a big fan of them. However, I wouldn't mind them if the release schedule was better and the packs were a little bit more, worth your buck than just one single character. Because I do think that is kind of a little underwhelming. Uh, yeah. It initially released as a paid playable and people weren't happy about it. I do think that the criticism was valid. I don't think that any sort of threats of violence were valid, and my heart goes out to the wonderful devs that have, put their time and sweat into making this game for us to enjoy. I think before Path of Titans ever introduces any sort of like paid DLCs outside of skin packs, that the game has to be finished because the crowdfunding stuff isn't entirely complete yet. There's missing mechanics and features that, are being developed, but they're still not in the game yet. I think more people would be fine to pay for a dinosaur if the game in its entirety was completed, like all the crowdfunding roster and everything. I think they'd be fine if all that was completed first. But I also think the timing of Tyrannotitan's release made things worse because it's the peak holiday season, so people are most likely parched for money. Money doesn't come easy in today's economy, especially in other countries where inflation hits really hard. So sometimes prices for people in other countries, it's a lot worse than what I would experience. For me, Tyrannotitan would have been like $7, but for someone else, it might have been like $50 in their currency, which is a bit rough. Uh, it's peak holiday season, like I said. A lot of people probably spent their money on gifts and food for family and friends to celebrate the holiday season. And you also have New Year's coming up, which, yeah, people were most likely parked for money, at least some people. $7 isn't a lot, but it's not necessarily the cost of the pack that was the problem. It was more so the principle of the pack that was the problem and the timing of it. I do want to wish the developers a happy holiday season, and I hope that the backlash that they got today isn't enough to fully dampen their moods for the holiday season. Because at the end of the day, the people developing Path of Titans are still humans and they still feel things. So I definitely feel that the community could have handled their disapproval and concerns a lot better than it was. My respect really goes out to Matt because he was at forefront answering everyone's questions and their concerns while everyone was freaking out. So at some point, you have to respect them for the dedication. And ultimately, they're the ones making this game for us, and they're listening to the people that are actually being reasonable. So I'll give credit where credit is due. It does seem like the team has improved on how they're going to handle things in the future. They seem like they learned from today on how people reacted. So I think that any future content will be relatively smooth sailing from here. I fully expect there to be a few hiccups and bumps along the way because developing a game isn't perfect and humans aren't perfect, so there's bound to be mistakes somewhere. But I do think that moving forward, things will be a lot better than it was for the few hours of Tyrannotitan's initial release. It's probably going to take the community a little bit to get back in the spirits of the game. At least some people that were really hurt by the way things went down. But I do think that moving forward, the future is looking really positive, and I don't foresee any more paid DLCs for playables until after the game is out of development and is finished. I don't think people will mind additional content after the game's released because they do have a 10-year development plan, so obviously they're going to need funding in some shape or form, and eventually skin packs probably aren't going to cut it. But I think once the base game's complete, that people will be more welcoming of DLCs, especially if they're handled better, which, judging off of today, they definitely will be, and I appreciate the developers for that, and I'm excited to see where this game goes. That being said, that's really all for this video, because I just wanted to discuss things, and it is very late for me, so once I get this put together and uploaded, I am probably going to bed. But I want to wish everyone a happy holiday. I know it's not quite that time yet, but I want to wish everyone a happy holiday. Have a good day, good week, good rest of your year, good beginning of next year, and I'll see you all in the next video.